But the lying stops now. You understand me? No more. No more disrespect.
Yeah, he's getting sick on his shoes. Got the dry heaves, I guess, huh?
Get it? Get it? I'm acting. I'm acting like I'm sick. Just like you two are acting. You expect anybody, let alone me, to believe this crap? Triple H, you can't be the bad guy. You can't get your hands dirty, so you have you do his work, right? And then you not only apologize to him, or you not only accept his apology, you hire him back? That's a good acquisition. Fantastic job. Hey, everybody, the Click's back. Yeah. Woohoo! Which is kind of ironic, because Click is the noise the audience's remote control makes every time Kevin Nash pops up on their TV screen. And, wait, I'm not done. It's the noise your knees make when you walk. Click, 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 click.
Well, you know what? Since I'm now officially under a WWE contract, why don't you do me a favor, Hunter? Why don't you book the match everybody wants to see? Why don't you book the match he thinks he wants? Kevin Nash versus CM Punk.
Yeah, brother, why don't you make that match? You know what? Why don't we do it at Night of Champions? You being a champion ass kisser and all. So why don't you go ahead, why don't you make that match? Of course, first you have to check with the board of directors to make sure it's okay. And by board of directors, I mean your wife. So come on, Mr. COO, make the match that he thinks he wants. I mean, your wife's the one who runs the show around here anyway, right? So why don't you ask her if it's okay? I mean, she's the one who told you to text Nash at SummerSlam, right? Let's face it. You don't wear the pants in the family, but you do wear her panties, don't you? Pipe bomb.
Skills and vocabulary too. Comprehension of this edition is all brand new. You're through. I'm interplanetary and like Doctor Who. So who?
Fuck your beef, no relief. I step on stage, girls scream like I'm Keith.
They was royal and they was rumbling. Sunday, out there in Philadelphia, Keith and Keisha are back to talk about it. You done heard from everybody. I'm sure you done heard from every wrestling podcast you listen to, but now you get to listen to Keith and Keisha Ringtime Pro Wrestling. Keisha, say hi to the people.
Hello, everybody. Welcome to the show. Yeah, I'm a little tired. As I talk more, I can hear it in my voice, but you know, it's whatever. It happens. Life goes on. So, what's going on, Keith? How are we doing?
Nothing much. I'm doing good. I'm back in the saddle, getting stuff done. If you guys go to ringtimeprowrestling.com, things are updated. There's fresh content almost every day. I see y'all clicking and reading, so that is beautiful. Ready to talk about this wrestling, Keisha. Now, I didn't see last night's shows of NXT and Lucha, but somehow maybe I might do a special edition Saturday morning episode where I'll give you the recap of all of that and Impact Wrestling. Don't really know how. Depends on how I feel, right?
Mm-hmm.
Who knows? I'm probably lying because every time I promise y'all a second show, I never get it out. So I'm going to stop promising and surprise. I am. I'm going to stop promising and surprise because apparently hey man, I'm tired, man. That full-time job, working 45 hours plus a week, then also trying to be a sports writer, moonlighting, and doing all of this, man. It's kind of taxing. Good news is, next week, Keish, I'm on the morning shift. That means my evenings are free. That means there will be a lot more podcasting. Whether I'm on other podcasts or whether I'm doing this one, because I will be off during the hours that normal people are off. So, thank you, America. It's finally been a long time for that to come.
Right.
So, anyway, like I said, we was royal, we was rumbling. One of WWE's oldest and most treasured pay-per-views, Royal Rumble, happened. We found out who's going to WrestleMania. We'll get into that later. And I'm going to say this. We're going to talk about Raw from Monday, our snow vacation from Raw, and Keisha, what a difference a day makes. All of that is getting talked about today, right?
Oh, yeah.
So, let's hit the Royal Rumble, right? We're there. Philly crowd is hot. Philly loves wrestling. This is home of ECW, right?
Right.
This is where they get down. Ring of Honor does a lot of shows there. Like I said, Philly, very smart crowd. They know everybody. They know your indie name. They know your name when you was wrestling in high school.
Right.
Hey
man, they do. They do their research. Like, it's crazy. Oh, that was such and such when he was in the 10th grade. It's like, what? Like, what are you talking about? It's him. Oh. I didn't know that. See, that's Philly crap for you. Everybody is highly informative if you're not familiar. So, you want to know some stuff about wrestling? Ask one of them, because I'm pretty sure everybody knows everything.
I mean, there's some other hot cities. New York is a hot city. New Jersey, that whole Meadowlands area, very hot. Chicago, nothing's like Chicago, right?
Right. So,
we're here. We watching. We open up Cesaro, the Tyson Kid, with Natty and Adam Rose on the outside, and the Buddies take on the New Day. At first, I thought it was a 6-man tag, Keisha. I didn't know we were doing tag team.
Oh, no.
No. Mind you, every single match, the title match and the Royal Rumble match was a tag team that was on the show.
Right.
So, Cesaro, Kid, take on the New Day. They wrestling. It was decent. Like, I thought it had good energy.
It did. It really did.
I'm just gonna declare the New Day dead. The New Day is past.
Oh yeah, it's over. Like, it's crazy to say that, but like, the more and more that I see what they're doing with them, then I realize they just have them come out as a fool for a minute, and then it's over with. Like, it's done after that. Like, after that, it's just like, okay, we're finished. Go ahead, bury him real quick, and then we're gonna go ahead to the next match. Like, that's pretty much what they're doing with this match this time.
Sure.
So,
they needed R-Truth for the tag team division. That's what they needed, right? Yeah. So they got it. Now, here's the thing: the team of Tyson and Cesaro, no shade, love them. The two guys who are really skilled in the ring and probably didn't get the most attention. I think they're a well-balanced tag team. Cesaro's the power man. Tyson is the high flyer. Both of them are technically sound.
Yeah.
I think
definitely agree.
With the right motivation, they got Natty outside, who's like she's playing two characters because she's with the heel team, because she's a babyface when she wrestles.
So but she's kind of bipolar-ish.
For right
she's
now.
Like, all right now.
For right now.
Yeah, that's for the moment.
But I dig it. They should be challenging the Usos sometime soon. right?
Yeah.
That's their next order of business.
If we don't see them challenging them, then you know they're going to say something about it. So expect a promo or two just commenting on it. You know.
Right.
Slightly. It is what it is.
That's what it is.
So that happens.
Second match of the evening. The Ascension takes on the New Age Outlaws. Not a lot of details for you. The Ascension defeated the New Age Outlaws. I heard that wrong.
Yeah.
I thought I said the Outlaws would win just to be an ass. But no, the Ascension won. Very sloppy finish. These dudes did a whole repackaging.
Yeah, they do.
Everything about them need repackaging. We need to change the clothes. We need to get rid of the paint. Like, find something new for everything. Because they're just not... And the finish was very sloppy. The move... It was a nice idea in theory, but just wasn't executed. They all had a time, and that's it, like the Usos do. But I get the Usos been at it since they was 10, right?
Right.
So, there's that. Speaking of the Usos took on Mizdow and the Miz for the tag team titles.
They did.
Keish, what you got on my 40?
Okay, so this match was actually kind of interesting, and it took turns that, you know, it was awesome. Mizdow's hot, as we all know, and Jimmy and Jay put on a fantastic show. I always thought that these two teams together had like the best chemistry ever, and this match was just one that just proved it to me. So, it was a good thing to see. I loved it. I'm glad that the whole storyline with the Uso and the Diva and Miz and all that did not play a role into this match, because that was getting on my nerves. I couldn't take it, but it was cool. I liked it. I liked the finish. It wasn't ridiculous. Of course, you know, Miz had to have his way, and that kind of cost him everything. But, you know, it's cool.
Right, right.
Yeah. But I said that to happen because, you know, when you're trying to be a one-man show in a tag team, that's always going to be a problem. It's always going to be a problem. So,
I think that tag team was on the edge of breaking up.
Yeah.
I don't know when, but they're on the edge of breaking up. Sandow was showing clips of him getting frustrated, and Miz just overreaching, overbearing. He hates Sandow's spotlight. So I'm going to think that Mizdow is going to come to an end sooner than later, right?
Right.
And that's cool. Like, I'd rather him dressing up as other people doing other things down the line. Because that X-Pac from last Monday, before the pay-per-view,
man,
crazy.
Oh, people didn't even know, man. Like, folks were just...
I didn't know till the real one showed up. I was like, oh, so who that? Oh, it's gotta be Miz. I mean, it was stand out. Yeah, didn't know.
I think that eventually, he's going to break part from this, but he's still going to keep his persona of dressing up as different wrestlers going. And I'm glad. I'm going to be happy to see it. You know, this guy was a good run, though. This guy was definitely a good run for him. But eventually, he's go back to the Randy Ortons and the Bad News Bears and, you know, the Dolph Ziggler's and everything else. So I can't wait. But yeah.
Right.
So soon, and I'm pretty sure it'll be very soon. It'll be over. It'll definitely be over for them too. So, but they didn't come out with the title. I'll tell you that. They definitely did not retain. And I thought they would. I did. I thought they would actually retain their titles, but that didn't happen.
Well, they did. The Usos retained. The Usos were champs going to this match.
Yeah, I'm off right now. Don't
okay.
take cold
It's early.
and then wake up and do a show.
It's
That
early.
just don't work.
That's what I'm here
That just don't work.
for. I could let you ride, but we on the show and we recording, so I can't like. Okay, I'm gonna ignore that because people think we
No, can't, man. My bad.
It's internet.
It happens, people. It happens every once in a while. You go slightly delusional and you start talking, and then that's a whole combination of stuff. So,
So, let's get to the next match. The Bellas took on Natty and Paige in the fourth straight tag match you don't watch. Excuse me. They actually gave them time. I think what they did, instead of trying to chop them up and then throw another filler match in, they said, screw it.
Yeah.
Let's give them some time and let the ladies work.
Which is awesome. I thought it was awesome. I mean, because if you throw in another filler match, then it's going to be like, ugh. Like, why are we having this? Like, what is the point? No, don't do that. Don't do that. I have to honestly say, I hate filler matches. I do. Because they're so last minute and they don't make any sense and they're just a waste of time. Because then you're killing 5 minutes that you could have dedicated towards another match. So yeah, let the ladies work. I'm saying it. Just let them work. Let them do what they do. So they'll put on a show if you let them. If you give them time to, then yeah, they'll definitely work. They'll put on the show that they want. So kudos to them for giving them the time that they needed to make this match happen. I thought it was awesome though. Paige and Natalya and the Bellas. Even though I'm not a big fan of the Bellas, I don't think I've ever been a fan of the Bellas, to tell the truth. Like, I don't know.
You can look, but you can't stop.
Oh, I hate
You
that
can't
song.
breathe
Like,
from the stars above. Don't.
like, it's only with other things somewhere I start singing it, I hate that song. I can't stand that song. I think it's awful.
It's so sad that I know it. Like, it's like tears in your eyes and the things.
All of the songs are awful. I can't stand it.
Oh my god.
Yeah.
I know that record. That is terrible.
Hey, you're not the only one. I'm pretty sure there's other people out there that know that song to a T. Like,
Like, what am I doing with my life?
but that song's awful. I hate that. Like, I can't. Every time I hear it, I'm just like, ugh. Like, why? The song's awful. It's sad. It's just awful. Ugh. But it is what it is. So, they ended up winning.
Yeah, they won.
They won.
And that was a solid match, solid effort. Here's the thing. Despite what you want to say, those ladies are getting better.
Yeah. I mean, I give
Nikki's a monster.
too, but I still don't like them.
Yeah, Nikki is a monster. I'm gonna go that far. Match of the night, right? Easily might even be considered for match of the year, right?
Right.
Taken away. There's only been 2 major pay-per-views this year worth talking about, and 2 of them are already got match of the year candidates here. But the World Heavyweight title match here with Brock, Seth Rollins, and John Cena was as good as it gets. Like, if somebody ever asks you why you watch wrestling, you need to put that match on for them and say, this is why.
Oh, yeah. Most definitely.
I challenge you not to get hooked. Brock pulled off the Willis Reed comeback of the year. He started the match dominant. Like, Brock kicked everybody's ass that moved. He double German the J&J security. You know what I mean?
Right. Which was
like
greatness.
Like, he was just super
around.
everybody.
Ooh.
Like,
yeah.
I was like, okay, wow. Like, he has beat up the 5 people that are there. And he's just walking around proud. I was like, wow. Very, 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 you know what I'm saying, entertaining match. Brock won the match, but I'm going to say this. Star of the match is Seth Rollins. Seth put on a performance for the ages, If you don't believe Seth ready for prime time, I don't know what to tell you, because that match proved it 200%.
Of course.
And man, when he went off that top rope through the table, like people say, it wasn't Randy Savage, but it was pretty good. Like he went to work with that.
Yeah, he definitely did. Like, of course, he was easily, to me, the star of the match. Like, that was an incredible performance by him. And as much as anybody might say they don't like him, they can't deny his wrestling ability. Like, that's it. That's all you can really say. Like, he's an incredible wrestler. And not only that, but Seth, coming into the match and everything, showed no fear. And I think, to me, is the number one thing about the whole match in general. Like, he showed no signs of fear whatsoever. You know, mostly when you're dealing with the big guy, and like, when you're dealing with huge wrestlers the size of Brock Lesnar, they try to have the other opponent be intimidated on some level. But they didn't do that with Seth. Seth has gone into this whole entire situation with zero fear. Like, zero signs of him being any level of scared.
I would argue that that's he has shown fear, but it's traditional heel, I'm scared, what am I going to do stuff. Because he's back down. He's been, you know what I mean. But it's been done in a nice way that a heel should do things.
I just think it's great. But they done right down, though. You know, I think to me, that's what it is. They done right down. So, kudos to it. I mean, the match was just incredible. And I think adding him to it really added that element that they needed to make this match just that much more. You know? Right. Because just Brock and Cena alone, I mean, I'm not saying that it would have been horrible, but I don't think anybody wanted to just see just that. You know?
Well, nobody wants to see John Cena, period.
Yeah,
on the site, this is the most irrelevant John Cena has been in a pay-per-view match ever, right? Now, they did give you inclinations that he had a chance at winning, but it was not about Cena. It was about Brock and Seth. And that dynamic still will continue. Like, I think there's some still unexplored territory between Lesnar and Rollins. And, you know, they're going to have a certain level of tension and animosity between each other. So,
right.
I'm waiting to see how that plays out. Going after that, Brock won, just in case you don't get it. Brock won. Amazing comeback because he was out cold. They called the doctors after he went through that table. And whoever booked this match deserves a gold star. Like, that was the best I've seen put together in a long time, right? So let's get to the Royal Rumble match. 30 men aspiring for a World Heavyweight title shot at WrestleMania. What goes in, what goes out, till we stuck with the last man standing.
Right. Execution
of the Rumble. Anybody got any opinions? Because I got a couple.
Okay, so the order in which the Royal Rumble went, to me, was off. Okay? Like, the order in which all the participants came out, to me, was off. That's just my personal opinion. Like, I thought that the way they had people come out, I mean, not in the beginning, yes. In the middle, yes. At the end, yes. Like, it was just kind of like, really, though? And it felt like, to me, that this whole we draw numbers and, you know, we draw numbers and we have them come out and it just, to me, it really, that didn't happen. Like, that's my own personal opinion. That didn't happen. In my opinion, they already had the order put together and everything else. So I personally I wasn't really pleased with that. As far as who participated, though, I was pleased with that. I was pleased with the participants of the Royal Rumble, all of them. the few surprises that were in there were awesome to me, and I just thought that everything kind of just it was hilarious. It was hilarious. So, yeah, that's my opinion. That's my own personal opinion. It wasn't one of the best Rumbles I've ever seen. Trust me, it wasn't, but it was fairly decent. It was. You know, that's just my few opinions on one of the major matches of the year.
What the best? The worst was 2014, so this somewhere slightly above that.
Yeah.
All in all, Keish, Bray Wyatt was a star because he held court and threw a lot of people out. Surprise entries, never could have called DDP.
No.
Not
at all.
New Bubba was coming. Diva didn't show up. Also, I wanted Bully, but I get it. If he has to come back as the way the fans know him.
Right.
It's Philadelphia. Right. It's ECW. He has to come back as the dude in the fatigues and work his way out of that image over here.
Yeah. It does not mean that he can't evolve into Bully. He just has to return as Bubba, you know? So, I understood it too. Like, I wanted Bully as well, but I understood him returning as Bubba. Everybody knew him as Bubba, but it doesn't mean that eventually, if this is a continuous thing, that he can't evolve into being Bully Ray. Because people still know him as such. So, it is what it is. But I was excited about it. No, I don't think anybody called DDP, though. That was just a shock to everybody. It was just kind of like, really? Really? Like, I was done. What about the Bully Man? Seriously, dude? I was so done with that.
Right. We have to do better with war, cancel orders. Get rid of it. Those guys played a decent part with what they were given. I think you could have got the same winner and had a better result, right, in Philly.
Yeah.
I think Roman Reigns was the guy because he was an odds-on favorite, right? Like, he was their guy, and they're not going to give up on their guy. But that Final Four, where it was him, Ambrose, Big Show, and Kane, right?
Right.
Big Show and Kane throw out Ambrose. It's just him and Big Show and Kane. It's over. I know who won already. Big Show ain't going to WrestleMania.
Of course not.
That's not box office. Don't nobody want to see Kane at WrestleMania. So, it's got to be Roman. It was just booked rough. So, they got rid of Daniel Bryan at 10. And the only thing I can think of is the wisdom behind that is that I'm going to get rid of Bryan early so y'all forget about it. Which they did. They just kept saying Daniel Bryan.
Right.
And I'm going to go with this guy at the end. I think if it would have came down to those two, and maybe Bryan made a small mistake and got thrown out, and he was real close, but no cigar, I think that worked better for WWE storytelling, and that would work better for college basketball. Boy, my head hurt. It worked better for the fans to basically see how it played out, right? Final Four should have been Dolph, Ambrose, Bryan, and Roman Reigns. Then work your way out of that. Because guess what? If those four in there, I don't know who's going to win.
No.
And the match has substance, and it has, because what they could do, they could perform for 10 to 15 minutes, just knocking off moves. And then, like I said, the match should have substance, and it'd be intriguing all the way to the end. Once it hit that, hey, this is what it is, nobody cared anymore. So I would assume a lot of people was, one click away from not knowing who won the second game. But people cared, and here we are. Now, it's funny that they advertised The Rock being there, because we were like, how is The Rock going to get involved? So Big Show and Kane decided to jump Roman Reigns after he eliminated them both, and The Rock shows up.
Right.
It helps them clean house. They still got to eliminate Rusev, who done rolled under the bottom rope.
Which was crazy. But then I forgot about him.
Yeah.
I forgot about him.
I pointed it out on Twitter. You know what I mean? Because I remember watching it roll out. And I thought Rusev would have been huge for that crowd. That crowd would have popped like hell for Rusev.
Right.
Rusev could have been in the Final Four. You had Rusev, Ziggler, Bryan, and Roman, right?
Right.
People would have went nuts for that. They didn't do it. They went with what they wanted to go with, and they got booed out the building.
Yeah.
So, I mean, that's how it is. And it's funny because, like, how's I grade the pay-per-view? I was like, I couldn't grade it based on the main event, which was like a F. Because there was an A before it, and there was a couple of Bs. So the overall grade for me is like a C plus B minus for the pay-per-view. But there was excellence beforehand. And I think that made the judges even harsher. And it made people like, hey, I can't believe what I just saw.
Yeah. Yeah.
But
I agree.
Too,
and I think that's why everybody was booing at the end. Like everybody
there was no controversy.
Pissed.
There's no missteps. Randy Orton ain't show up. Like, there's so many things going into it. Like, I think a lot of people expected Randy Orton to be there for that one. So, I don't know what to tell you.
Right.
Don't know what to tell you. But, that's where we are. Roman Reigns is the Royal Rumble champion. He will face Brock Lesnar at WrestleMania 31. We are going to take a break. We'll come back. We're going to talk to news, because in the news, we're going to get kind of into what happened after Roman run. And our reactions, and then we'll get into some Raw recap, which will be very short, because it's just like a few clips, and they re-showed the earthquake. So we'll get into that. Come back on the break, and we'll holler at y'all in a minute. Peace. Not peace, because we ain't going nowhere, but you know.
Here you go, you're in constant demand. And I say, honey, because I'm the world's heavyweight champion. Now, for a lot of you people out there, that's a real hard nut to swallow. A lot of you don't like that. You don't like the prestige that I have in life. You don't like the notoriety. You detest the fact that I got more cars than most of you have friends. I got a big house on the big side of town. I got life pretty much the way I want it. You understand that? You know why? Because I'm the champ. I'm the world's heavyweight wrestling champion. Dale Murphy, right? A local here in Atlanta, Georgia. He's a big deal, but he's not the champ. You understand that? Huh? Herschel Walker, for all you black folks out there, he's a real big dude. But he's not the champ. Ric Flair's the champ. Understand? Me and Lex Luger, you, Ted Turner, Dusty Rhodes, Nikita Koloff, Ricky Morton, Steve Williams, all of you, take a look at it. Learn to love it, because it's a role model for you. I'm the champ. That's the bottom line in this sport of sports. I'm the champ. Custom made, kiss stealing, wheeling dealing, and Luger, wherever this match takes place, God only knows you've got to beat the champ. Woo!
We are back at it. It's birthdays. Yesterday was the 28th. WWE superstar Sheamus celebrated a birthday. Today is the 29th. That would be Ivan Putski and Bob Hardcore Holly both share a birthday today. And tomorrow, the fabulous Giant Gonzalez, also known as Elegante, will be celebrating the birthday. And that's about it. Well, it's Sunday. Fit Finley is celebrating the birthday. So, I'm sorry, Saturday. He's celebrating the birthday. So that's it for the birthdays this week. Now on to the news. Here's our news segment. This week is going to be interesting.
Yeah. Yeah, it is.
Stuff happened, man. Stuff happened. So, we talked about the Royal Rumble. We talked about who won. Roman Reigns won the Royal Rumble. And we thought the Philly fans was pissed. No, the whole internet got broke, Keish.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. It went nuts. Oh, it went nuts.
And they said, cancel the WWE Network was trending.
Yes.
I read a tab in my tweet deck just to see who was tweeting it. Keish, it was a lot of people on that hashtag.
Yeah.
And I mean, it was there for like, they said 14 hours it was trending. It was going like 2 days when I had my thing with it. I mean, constantly posted. I was trolling. I was trolling them. I was trolling the hashtag because I thought it was funny. I was like, y'all hurt.
People had a
Y'all
lot
hurt
to say.
bad. I had to write an article just basically saying, like, look, man, y'all need to just chill and be patient. First of all, I ain't canceling the WWE Network for more than just, okay, the pay-per-view was bad, right?
Right.
Well, it wasn't bad. That's the thing. It wasn't a bad pay-per-view. Hey, man, I'm trying to watch all these Starcades. I'm trying to watch some Midnight Express. I'm trying to watch some World Class. I'm trying to watch some old school ECW. Hey, man, I didn't even watch none of the ECW pay-per-views yet.
I watched one. I watched one. I don't remember which one it was, but I watched one.
That's a whole treat for me. You know what I mean?
Right.
Keith, Legends House is going to come back on soon. I'm just saying that I ain't going nowhere. They raised this shit to $15. I'm still here. I ain't going nowhere. Don't tell them that because they be trying to raise it up. But I ain't going nowhere right now. Damn, people still tweeting on that hashtag. It was so hilarious. Like, I'm going to do this. I'm just going to watch Lucha Underground. I'm just going to do this. Well, just go do it, not be noticed.
Exactly.
Right? But for all that crying and bitching and moaning and trending for 2 days and thinking you made a difference, you did not. Anybody who's going to cancel WWE Network, guess what? You didn't matter.
Right. I mean, it's the truth. Like,
you know why? Because guess what? The numbers dropped. They have finally reached a number of being over 1 million subscribers for the WWE Network. Now, mind you, just a month or two ago, they were down to 800,000. Yep, they are well over 1 million subscribers for the network, Keish. And guess where the majority of those sign-ups happened?
after the whole hashtag.
Sunday and Monday. Sunday and Monday. You are correct. They was all Sunday and Monday. And more people signed up. They said a lot of people did unsubscribe, apparently. But way more people subscribed than unsubscribed. So let's say if 100,000 people or 80,000 people unsubscribed, right?
Right.
300,000 people subscribed. They went over 1 million. So they are comfortably over 1 million subscribers for the network now. So, hey man, I would say them tweets for somebody who cares. Because WWE is zero fucks about how you feel. Also, Keish, what a difference a day makes. Well, we'll come back to this. But if you saw Raw Monday, I think you feel totally different. But that's just me. But let's get back to the news. So we got to the hashtag, and we got to the people crying. Okay. Also, if you notice in WWE news, Justin Gabriel got released. Apparently, he asked for his release.
Yeah.
He was tired because he wasn't booked on Royal Rumble, and he felt like his career was going nowhere. He said he was just going to be on NXT and main event forever.
That's how he felt. I mean, he didn't really, there was nothing really saying that was going to change, to tell the truth. I mean, from what it looked like and what we saw, that's just pretty much how it looked. That's pretty much what it was.
Yeah. He was a dude who was doing the Superstars matches. I can't tell you the last time I saw him on Raw. And if you can't get in a match with 30 people in it, they ain't checking for you.
Right.
But
that's how I feel.
It's on the indies. He is working with, I think he Evolved. Excuse me. In Dragon Gate. He's got a big show in California in about 2 weeks. He is now known as PJ Black. There's a lot of dudes, man. The indies is populating. Because they got this influx of ex-WWE talent now. And people pay to see them.
Right.
So, I mean, when there's a demand for talent, and word on the street, some of these guys doing as well or better than they was in the WWE because the payoffs didn't get changed. So it's an interesting dynamic going on out there in the streets. Now, Keish, let me tell you something that's interesting with this whole cancel WWE Network thing. What happened, so many fans jumped on board to cancel WWE Network, they start tweeting out the link to New Japan World, a service that I subscribe to watch stuff for New Japan.
Right.
So many fans went, they crashed the server.
Oh, wow.
They crashed the New Japan World server. It's back up now, but overnight, because I mean, it didn't reboot till the morning. They just like, what the hell is going on? They didn't know what was going on. They had people panicking, like, what in the world happened? This grown WWE fans.
Yeah, pretty much.
Apparently, everybody trying to capitalize on it. Because Monday, Lucha Underground ran 2 shows on the El Rey Network. It was like, oh, Raw is a rerun? Hey, we're going to run these 2 episodes of Lucha Underground. Tweet it out.
Right.
y'all can watch it. It wasn't even a rerun. Raw was just like a clip show.
Right.
Interviews. So that happened. TNA Impact got some good news. Viewership increased even more last week. So the week before, they was up to like 387,000, which was up from the week before. This week, they've made a big leap to 500,000. They're going to get back to their 1 million viewers. People are finding the show. I think they're doing good shows every week. Everything I've watched, I've been entertained. They're going to do big things over at Destination America. And they're going to bring people over to that network to the point where that network is going to be able to probably be on more regular cable outlets. So, be on the lookout for that. TNA, don't call it a comeback, right?
Yeah, exactly.
That being said, word on the street is Jeff Jarrett and Global Force Wrestling are free to negotiate with Spike TV.
Yeah. They are. Oh, God. Do you know what that was
Jeff Jarrett, he had a no-compete with TNA, and that was part of his no-compete. Well, that clause in that contract has expired since its release. So, hey, but they say Spike has zero interest in professional wrestling since the loss of TNA. Now, what would be argued is that Jeff probably has a good relationship with Spike.
Right.
It was, not that TNA left on a bad rep. And I think that they were done with. But see, the thing is, I think with Spike, with Global Force, they might make a deal with them if they say, look, we can do the wrestling, but we can't pay you what we paid TNA. We could pay you half of that or a fourth of that, right?
Right.
I think Spike, if they come up to that kind of deal, Spike might be interested. I think Spike felt like they was paying too much for TNA, even though it was one of their highest rated programs. I think they thought they was paying too much for it. If they get that kind of rating at a fraction of the cost, then I think they would make a move forward to that. And Global Force, I think, could bring that kind of a product.
I mean, I like fresh wrestling. And when I mean by fresh, it's like new, exciting, just new, period. I like fresh wrestling. I love it. when you see a new company flourish in front of your eyes and you see it happen, regardless of if it's taped, if it's live, whatever. The fact that it's being broadcasted into the entire world or even just the United States is incredible. And I love the open opportunity to let this happen. So I think Spike should reconsider their negotiations with Global Force. I think that they should find, I wouldn't say, well, I'm going to say it. I think they should try and replace having Impact with Global Force. I think they should have wrestling on their programming. I mean, I'm not saying that it's necessarily needed, but it is always a boost because now you've opened up your outlet of your channel to wrestling fans as well, which gives them a chance to watch all your other programming. Even if it's just, some of it's just movie reruns and, just the UFC and all that kind of stuff, it's, to me, I think it's a great marketing tool. I mean, I might be wrong, and all that kind of stuff, but yeah, I personally believe that with the image that Spike has and what they stand for, they should include wrestling in their programming. Like, they were doing incredibly in that. I mean, I might be exaggerating it a little bit, but I think that Impact was a great part of their programming. That's right. Those are the words I wanted to use.
I think they're a little bit more all in with Bellator right now, and they're just going to concentrate on the MMA, simply because they've invested money in Bellator. So we'll see how that works out for them. Also, let's go to some other things. Arnold Schwenager will be the newest member of the WWE Hall of Fame. He will join the celebrity wing.
Awesome.
Kind of funny because I thought he was already in.
I think that might have surprised a lot of other people too. Like, I think they probably already thought he was there as well. So, yeah.
It's kind of funny because, like, I was talking to my wife yesterday, and she was like, I said, well, Nicole to you, Keisha. We was talking, and we was talking about people going in. I said, the Macho Man going on this year. She was like, he's not here?
Right.
She couldn't believe the Macho Man wasn't there. And I was like, yeah, that's crazy. Yeah. Like, nobody could believe Macho Man is not in the Hall of Fame. Like, he's just now going in.
It's shocking.
That is asinine.
Yeah.
Whole nother story. Dolph Ziggler and Daniel Bryan doing a Twitter exchange, trying to get them a WrestleMania match together.
Do I want that? I do want that. I think
they don't know what's going on. Like, according to Meltzer and Wrestler News Source, and Meltzer's been known to be wrong. The little Twitter exchange, which seems organic, they say is a part of the plan.
Right.
And maybe, but they also thought about, because apparently they aren't doing the Daniel Bryan versus Sheamus thing, which was planned. Well, they said it was planned, but they said not doing it. That's something they tried to do last year, which would have been horrible. But they scrapped that idea this year. But it's part of the plan for Ziggler and Bryan to do a thing at WrestleMania. There's 3 WrestleMania matches that are set. This is for sure. Roman versus Brock. Sting versus Triple H. Cena versus Rusev. Pretty much are set in stone. Now they're trying to figure out the other matches. So maybe if they get Daniel Bryan versus Ziggler and possibly Bray Wyatt versus The Undertaker, which I get and don't get. Here's my thing with the WWE. They're all wrestling. Even with fans. Why do people try to match up gimmicks?
I don't know.
I mean by that, like, oh, that guy has a dark gimmick, that guy has a dark gimmick, let's move it. Like, if you ever think of Undertaker suggested opponents, nobody ever says, like, John Cena, except for me. Or, hey, let's do Randy Orton one more time. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Can a legend killer strike again? No, they want, like, Sting. He did a crow thing. Let's do Bray Wyatt. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I never understood that myself. To me, I like contrast. I like dark versus light. You know, like I like when Undertaker faced Shawn Michaels, and Shawn Michaels had, like, you know, the light come down on him as he came down to the ring and all that kind of stuff. That was incredible. That's the kind of stuff I want to see. I want to see darkness fighting the good source of hero. You know, just the hero. So, yeah, you're not the only one that actually thinks that Cena is actually a great opponent for him. I think that to me, is a great matchup against each other. I don't really like the whole dark versus dark thing because it's too much. At times, it's too much darkness. You know, it's a little bit too much for the match itself. At times, you're trying to match these two opponents because of their gimmicks, but it doesn't make for a good match. Like, as far as, like, the actual wrestling aspect of it, though, it's horrible. Like, like, the match would suck if you put those two together. Just because their gimmicks they might have two incredible gimmicks, but they might not be a good combination for a match. And I don't think people start to think that far into it until the match actually happens, and then they're like, oh my God, that was awful. Like, why the hell were they having them in a match together? Because you wanted it. like you wanted this to happen, and then it actually happens, and then it's just kind of like, okay, that don't ever need to happen again. But in my mind, it's like, no.
Yeah. Word on the street is that they build Bray Wyatt strong just in case, right? Which, I don't know. Like, I guess Randy Orton has unresolved issues. I don't know if he gets Seth Rollins. I don't know where Ambrose goes. A lot of it all is kind of shaky, right? So we got that going on. WWE introduced a new dating policy within the company. Apparently, according to the Observer, they now does not permit relationships between talent and officers and people in the production. New ruling was recently revealed. But you know, talent is fine. That's just, I mean, I think that happens at every job, if I'm not mistaken. You can't date your supervisors.
It does. Like, it's usually a policy within the company that states that, you know, management should not be dating their subordinates. They shouldn't be dating, you know, like supervisors. I work security, and we have that same kind of policy. Like, management tells us, supervisors, you're not to fraternize with the officers and all that kind of stuff. I mean, pre-existing relationships cannot be helped, but they made it a point to point out, like, hey, no. like, we don't want that to happen. So I think it's a lot having to do with playing favorites and career boost and, you know, all that kind of stuff. I mean, at certain jobs, there's nothing really that you can do as far as, like, promotions, but you still can play favorites. Oh, I can write you up for this, but I'm not going to write them up for that because that's who I'm dating. Then you get mad at each other, and it's just like, okay, I'm trying to get you fired and all that kind of stuff. So it really can go a huge way, but they really don't say too much about, you know, if you're on the same level with each other, you know, they don't want it to happen either, but they can't really do anything about that. So I guess I guess the real way to put it is date amongst your ranks. You know, if you're talent, date other talent. Like, if you're staff, date other staff. If you're going to be involved with someone at the job, which is highly not recommended either, then they're like, well, make sure this person is on the same level as you, or does some around the same thing as you, or whatever. So I understand it. I definitely understand it.
So let's get to Raw real quick. Recap. Raw was canceled due to the blizzard that hit the Northeast. What they did is they started from the studios in Connecticut, did some interviews, and they showed clips of the Royal Rumble.
Right.
I thought they were good. I thought Daniel Bryan was good. I threw a little shade at Roman Reigns, saying, hey, The Rock didn't help him, and he didn't come from a family of this, and da-da-da-da-da.
Of course.
Because he was mad. The sit-down with Heyman, Brock, and Roman Reigns was television gold.
Yeah. It was
Paul could sell anything. I think after that, it was like, how do you watch this and not want to see them wrestle now? How you not sold that's the WrestleMania main event?
Right.
I mean, and Paul touched on everything. Like, he laid it out so beautifully. He was like, I know you. I know you better than I know your family. I know you knew you longer than you know your family. I used to take pictures of your father and your uncle when they wrestled when I was a kid at the Garden. Because Sika of Alpha and Sika is Roman Reigns' dad, for people who don't know. Like, I think it's kind of weird, like, they just now acknowledging his heritage. Like, They didn't do it when he was with the Shield, but then, like, he wrestled Usos, and they didn't even include him in the Samoan tag team title heritage tree.
No.
But I digress.
But I think that's just so that he didn't, I guess they didn't want him to overshadow everything with his family heritage. I think they just wanted to keep him in the background and kind of like build the Shield. I don't know. I'm just trying to make sense of it. I'm just trying to make sense of it. But that's my thought process of it. Is like
he went through it. He laid down. He was like, "Yeah, I was here." He was like, "I managed your Uncle Fatu and your cousin Tama." You know what I mean?
Right.
Like, who Uncle Fatu is Rikishi, who is of course the Usos pops. I managed him. You know what I mean? I knew him. He was like, I was here. He brought up Umaga, Uncle Eddie. He brought up Yokozuna. Like, he was there when Yokozuna got his trial. Because Yokozuna, Sika brought Yokozuna down to trial. And he was like, oh man, we got no Samoans. What we going to do? Then they came with the sumo gimmick for him.
Right.
Like, if you go down the bloodline, he was like, yo, this is in your blood. This is your heritage. He was like, Dwayne The Rock Johnson. You know what I mean? Everybody know The Rock. Superstar. And he told us, like, and why did he tell you about Brock? He spaced this man. You know what I mean? He read the story. He was like, why did he tell you about the epic rematch they had? You know why? There wasn't a rematch. He did not ask Brock for a rematch. I was like, oh, this is getting deep.
Yeah.
Like, it's gonna hit at so many levels. Like, I would be surprised if The Rock is in Roman Reigns' corner at WrestleMania.
I'm sure he would be.
I would be surprised.
I have a great feeling that he
just to sell some more tickets. Or just, you'll see him around more to give Roman the pep talk. I would even do some training montages where they bring in another guy and The Rock coach him a little bit, and then The Rock train with him and let him know, you in for a fight. This is the fight of your life. But it's for the biggest prize in the game. You can take this to the next level. You know what I mean? Also, there's another element. Roman is the new cat on the block. Fresh, the rookie, the future. When Brock was 2002 and he faced The Rock 12 years ago, it was the same storyline. This guy's the future. It's the next big thing. Against the champ. The big man on the block. I mean, Rock was everything at that time, right?
Right.
Now, next big thing is The Rock's little cousin. And he gets to take down the man who took him down. I mean, you can tie this so great. Like, before you had no connection to this. And Paul sat down, and in 5 minutes, he sold it. And I think that's why Tuesday morning they had 1 million subscribers. I don't think it's no coincidence. I was like, yo, that snowstorm might be the best thing that ever happened to them. Because they couldn't do the Raw. So they would have did the Raw. They'd had this confrontation in the ring. It would have been kerfuffled. Fans would have been booing. It would have been messed up. Yeah. Had that quietness. And just to have them to deliver that talk. No interruptions. I think it was TV gold.
It was.
I think it was TV gold. I think it connected with everybody. I thought Seth Rollins' piece was nice. I thought Brock kind of bullying Seth Rollins, you know what I mean, a little bit. That shows that they thing not really over.
Yeah.
And then you wonder what's going to happen with Seth. Hey, does Seth try to cash in at WrestleMania? Like, there's so much going on. Or what happens next month at Fastlane? Like, I don't know what happens next month at Fastlane. So, those things happen. Amen. There's an element where Roman Reigns and Paul Heyman can come with something double cross Brock, and Roman goes with Paul Heyman or the Paul Heyman guy. I don't know. It's all for speculation, but I'm interested.
Do you know what that would do? Like, just in general, like, do you just know how detrimental that would be to like everything? How crazily awesome that would be? Like, that just screams like it screams just greatness. Because everything that Paul Heyman puts his hands on, he can turn into greatness. I think that other things might interfere with a person's career not going as far, but yeah, I would be so taken aback and so just shocked if that was to happen. Actually, right. I would love it. I would love it. I would, because then you would change the dynamics of everything. Roman wouldn't have to speak for himself anymore. He wouldn't have to say a word. He would.
Yeah. We'll see how it goes forward, and it's gonna be interesting. But Keith, that's all I got. You got anything else to go with today's?
I was also impressed by the dynamics of Raw from Monday due to the snowstorm and all that kind of stuff. I was glad that they didn't just do a complete rerun or just incorporate it with other programming. I'm glad that they still showed something, and what they showed was great. Was just as you described, it was gold, because having them just show themselves in front of a camera like that, it gives you a whole different dynamic than when they're out on the mic in a promo or in the ring, or when they just do these spot promos and when they actually are wrestling each other and all that kind of stuff. Right. It draws you in. I think more interviews like this need to happen, personally. In those spots where they're doing these extremely long promos, they can exchange it for an interview here and there. This needs to happen more often to me, because to me, if you do this just a little bit, I'm not saying that it has to be every week, it has to be every show, but every once in a while, give me that.
Yeah,
have me believe, that this is happening.
Yeah, because
that is what sells to me. To not only just to show the pay-per-views themselves. This is what lets me know why this is happening. Because a lot of matches that are made, to many of us, don't make sense. They're like, okay, so what are we supposed to be doing with this? Like, why are they even wrestling each other? But then you have something like this happen, and then you understand. Even if it's complete BS, even if they sit up there and they're talking, and it's just a lot of run around. It just draws you in anyway, because now you have some reason to why this is going on. So I give them like the biggest applause for changing the programming for that night and giving us this. Like they gave me a lot, and I loved watching it. I did. I loved watching every minute of it. So. But that's all I have. I really don't have much else. This week was just crazy. And I'm definitely praying for everybody that's out there in that area with the snowstorms that are going on and everything. The northern eastern United States is just under like feet of snow, and it's crazy. They said there was 5 million kids out of school. 5.
I might.
New York had people like, they were like, look, if we see you out on the streets, we see you driving, we're gonna fine you $300. They don't want anybody driving, going anywhere. They shut the subways down. They're like, we're done. Everybody stay at home. It's crazy. It's crazy. So, but that's us living in Georgia. Remind ourselves that this time last year, we were also in our first winter storm. So, for the year, because there were 2 last year. But this past time last year, all of Atlanta got shut down because of a winter storm themselves. I know my time hop told me. And I was reminded yesterday of where we were at last year. 1 year ago yesterday, there was cars all over 85, people trapped in buses and cars and gas stations and everything else. Sliding on ice.
On the floor at work.
I was actually at work that night. It took an hour, because I went to the parents' house earlier that day. It took me an hour to get from the train station, from my apartment to the train station, which is normally like a good 7-minute ride. It took an hour because Pamp Creek was jammed so bad. Like, it just took that long to get to the train station. And I went to work that night, and I was there for 15 hours. I worked from 10 o'clock that night, that Tuesday night. Well, yeah, I worked from 10 o'clock that Tuesday night until 1 p.m. that Wednesday afternoon.
Right.
And luckily the trains was running, so I was able to get to our parents' house. And yeah, but I was stuck there until Friday, and then I went back to work. So there's that. But yeah, there was people sleeping in gas stations and everything else just so they could stay warm.
Yeah.
I think somebody had a baby. Someone had a baby in their car because they couldn't get to the hospital and they went to labor. It was crazy. Last year it was crazy. So just know, all our fans out there in that area, you are in my prayers. Trust me, I wouldn't want to be stuck in a house that long. I'll go nuts. So, especially with, I mean, I love kids, but 5 million? 5 million. Whew, honey. Hope y'all have
all right.
On
that note, we are out.
All right, y'all. Talk to y'all next week.